So here comes trial number 2.
Right.
How long did that trial last?
About 6 weeks.
So it was faster this time.
Yeah, they didn't have 21 other people that they had to.
Okay, right. And the
Right.
feds saw what not to do
what they
this
thought,
time
yeah.
around and so forth.
Right.
So then they conclude this trial. How long was the deliberation?
About a week.
About a week this time.
About a week.
With the same outcome.
Same outcome.
Hung jury.
Hung jury.
You've now been in jail for 2 years.
A little
during
over
this
2
process.
years, yeah.
Over 2 years. You spent $200,000 on lawyers.
Spent way more than that.
Way more than that? How much you spend?
I don't know if I had to say it. Well, this is what happened as well. You know, they confiscated a bunch of my money.
Yeah.
And there's a motion, it's called Monsanto's, who's actually a guy from Harlem. And what the case law basically says is that any monies that was taken from me, I could use toward legal defense. And you know, so you know, it's my money, and I'd rather spend it on fighting for my. So anyway, I filed that motion, and they had to relinquish some parts of my money to pay my legal fees.
You're basically spending your drug money on your lawyer.
I'm spending my drug money on my freedom, in hopes of my freedom.
Exactly.
Right.
So now, trial number 2 is a hung jury once again.
Right.
Were you expecting to win this time around, or?
I absolutely expected to win.
And then once again, you're back.
A lot of things happened between my first trial. One of their main witnesses basically got on the stand and said everything that the government said about me wasn't true, and that was a key witness for the government. So in the second trial, they didn't even bring him back because they considered him a hostile witness. But
could you have brought him back?
It wouldn't have been favorable to me again, because what my lawyers told me in regards to that, you never want to put somebody on the stand that you don't know what they're gonna actually say.
Right. This is Don't Worry Murray.
Right.
The lawyer.
Well, no, my lawyer was a lawyer named Anthony Rico. You know, Murray Richmond early. My first trial helped a lot of my family members, but not in my second trial.
Okay. So once again, hung jury.
Right.
You're not fully trusting your lawyer when your lawyer is telling you to take a plea deal and everything else like that. Because after essentially losing the second trial, the feds now take their 25-year plea deal and lower it to 10 years.
Well, no. The judge advises the prosecutor, along with my attorney, that we need to try to come to some sort of like, I guess, a deal that would work for the better sense of all that's at play.
Right. And during both trials, Charles took the stand?
Yes, both trials.
How did it feel to see him on the stand telling on you?
It really bothered me. It definitely really bothered me, because we actually had an exchange in the bullpen, him and I. Because one day they was bringing him down to trial, and they was bringing us down, and this is in my first trial, they was bringing us down. We bumped into each other. I mean, we all handcuffed, so, you know, it wasn't a whole lot, you know, whatever. But in any event, they ended up putting us in separate bullpens, but we could hear one another talk. So, you know, I was talking to him, I was like, I don't know, like, how are you doing what you're doing to me? Like, you know, all I did for you, your family, you know, like how you know, and then what bothered me more so than him telling on me is the fact that he sat there and told on women that he knew had nothing to do with nothing. Like, you know, when you're in the street, you see somebody and they present a certain kind of how, and you buy that. You know, you see this person who's standing tall and talking shit, you know, and so you sort of you buy into that, and then you know, you're sitting there at the defense table, and then you see somebody on the stand not only telling on me, but then pointing fingers and making up things about people that wasn't so. I never saw that, and I never saw it in a person, let alone him.
So, what was his answer to you when you asked him that?
He said, Kev, you know, I got life parole in the state, you know, and now I'm looking at life over here. And it was just, I guess for him, it's just about self-preservation. Like, you know.
Him or me.
That's it. That's what it came to.
Okay. So the judge brings you into his quarters.
Well, yeah.
And he basically tells you should take this 10-year plea deal.
What happened was my lawyer was trying to convince me, giving me great legal advice. I mean, in hindsight, obviously, I can make heads or tails of it. But at the time, he was telling me that, you know, he was explaining to me pretty much how, Kevin, I've been doing this for a very long time. And you only got one time to lose. Like the government has resources that's limited.